Hi everyone, today I have popped to a local charity bookshop in my area. It's called Book Cycle. Basically it's an entirely volunteer run UK based charity where all the shops purely sell books of any type, educational, non-fiction, fiction, kids books, everything like that. And all the money raised goes to providing educational resources and books and stationery and stuff like that for children overseas. I know they do quite a lot of work in Africa. Now these shops were really lucky in Wigan where I live because most of these shops are based in Wigan, and I think there's one in Wellington in the UK and then there's one in Rome in Italy, and all the rest after that are in Wigan. So we're really lucky, and basically there's all these thousands of books. You'll see when we go inside, it is quite a big place, and you get to choose up to 3 books a day and you pay as little or as much as you want. It's just a donation, and obviously if I bring the kids with me they get to choose 3 books each as well as my 3, which is a really cool idea I think. So I'm going to leave it here and then I'll turn you back on when we get inside. This is the biography section.
I'll go for the time. I've got no cup, so yeah, I think so too. Just trying to get this.
This is the main room. It's the largest room in here. As you can see, we've got teen, YA, and then children's. This section is quite often my first stop of the day.
Nice and sunny in here, isn't it?
We've also got sci-fi and fantasy, horror, and then all this section is just general fiction, contemporaries, that kind of thing.
Still on holiday?
All of these shops seem to be quite a decent size. There's thousands of books in each place. And what's absolutely incredible is that every single one of these books have been donated. You do have to have a good look around because sometimes you find books in the wrong places, they've been put in the wrong categories. Like this. This is in teen/children. You need Blighton books, and if you've ever read this, you'll know that it's absolutely full of sex. Like lots and lots and lots of sex. So it really does not need to be put with the teen and children's books.
I can't believe what Duncan said to me. Don't worry about it. He said that lots of people do that. Yeah. And they're ringing up and said, "Oh, I brought a library book by mistake." I said,
"Well, they're not going to arrest you, are they?"
Right, I'm back home now, and I apologise for speaking quietly in the book charity shop. It's just, one, I didn't want to disturb other people who were in there because it is one of those places with lots of couches. You can just sit and read and relax. So I didn't want to disturb people. And 2, I don't know, talking loudly in there just doesn't seem right. It seems a bit, I don't know, like it would do in a library, like it's supposed to be quiet or something. Anyway, so I got my 3 books, and for me that is the biggest issue is that there's always more than 3 books that I'm interested in, so trying to choose just 3 is very difficult. But I eventually chose Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and Forensics, The Anatomy of a Crime by Val McDermid, and lastly, Stephen King Cell. So, Cell by Stephen King. I've only ever read one Stephen King before, and that was Elevation, and I read that only a couple of months ago, and if I'm completely honest, I really did not like that. I think it was kind of mistagged by people. I think because it was Stephen King, everybody just kind of assumed or said that it would be horror, and it really wasn't. It just was not scary at all. In fact, it was quite, I guess it was a bit unusual because of the subject, but it wasn't scary. It wasn't really a mystery. It was just an odd story, and you never got an answer at the end. From what I know about this one, I didn't actually have it on my TBR, but every time I see Stephen King books now, I do have a look at them and see if they would interest me, because I would like to get into, I mean, he's the king of horror, isn't he? So I would like to try some of them. This one is about some kind of plague or virus that is spread via cell phones. So basically, the phone rings or whatever, and if you answer it or you make a call or take a call, then you get this virus and you go insane or something like that. And the protagonist in it is a man who has kind of realised what's going on, made this connection between phones and the virus, and is now on some kind of mission to find his son before his son answers a call and gets the virus. So this actually, like I said before, I'm into virus outbreaks, post-apocalyptic stuff, so this sounds quite interesting and right up my street. So I'm really looking forward to being able to read this and seeing if it does meet my expectations of something quite scary but really interesting at the same time. And then this forensics book by Val McDermid, this is something that I actually wasn't aware of myself, even though I do read quite a bit of non-fiction, and I am interested in true crime, things like that, and medical non-fiction. I wasn't aware of this until one of my favourite people on YouTube who talk about books. You need to pop over to her channel. It's A Beautiful Chaos of Books. I'll tag her below. And she actually spoke about this, did a review on this book, and it brought it to my attention. And it does sound really interesting. Basically, Val McDermid is, well, she's a world famous author of lots of crime thrillers. Lots of them focus on things like the forensics of crime. And this one is actually, it's not fiction. This one is, she actually looks at the people who really do this for a job, and the history of forensics and how it has evolved and helped to solve crimes over the years, and then the different, I guess, forensic techniques that are used, things like looking at insect growth to pinpoint time of death, stuff like that. So this one, I think this is going to be really interesting, but I also think it's going to be one of those books where you can kind of dip in, dip out, and read a chapter about one subject and then give it a break and then read it again. So it might not be one that I completely just sit and read in full, but I think it will be very interesting. And then this last book that I purchased, the third of the three that I was allowed to bring home, is Station 11. And this is actually on my TBR on Goodreads, but I'm not 100% sure what it's about. So I know there's some kind of virus outbreak, which is me. That literally is why I will have put it on my TBR, but I can't tell you much about the book. I know something about, there's been some kind of virus outbreak initially, but then the main story is 20 years later when civilization is trying to rebuild itself and something goes wrong, and it's more about how far will people go to try and protect what they've managed to build up after this major event. So I honestly, I do not know what to expect from the book. I don't know, I can't even anticipate whether it's going to be a 5-star or a 2-star, or I think it's one of those I'm just going to have to just jump into and see what happens. And what's really good about the bookshop, like I was telling you, is that these are all 100% donated books, and you can find everything and anything there. And like even like these two, these are in absolute immaculate condition. The spines haven't even been cracked or anything. So I would, just from looking at them, I would say that these are probably new books, you know, unread books. Maybe somebody's got them as a gift and then didn't want them. And you know, and the Stephen King are really good. I mean, it's in good condition, hardback. And this originally was £18 to buy, which I just would not have been able to afford that. And I've even bought special editions of books there sometimes, and you know, signed copies, what people have given away. So I think it's an absolutely brilliant project. It benefits both readers and the people that receive the donations on the other end, usually in Africa. So I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look around at one of my favourite bookshops and enjoyed my teeny tiny haul. I wish I could have had more. I really do wish I could have had more. But hopefully I'll be popping back there in future and I'll be able to build a few up and do a bit of a better haul next time. So thank you very much for watching. Give me a little likes up if you did like it, and subscribe if you want to see any more videos, and I'll see you soon.